from the eastern highlands of Papua New Guinea, and there are about 5,000 of them here, have come to give the Prime Minister, Mr. Whitlam, and the Chief Minister, Mr. Somare, a traditional Sing Sing, a welcome to Goroka.
Having campaigned to end Australia's colonial ties, he was determined to grant PNG its independence. But there were concerns the process was moving too fast.
But this Sing Sing is not without its political significance. These people did not want to hold a Sing Sing if it meant support for independence. They're very concerned about independence. They don't want independence yet. In fact, they presented the Prime Minister with a petition, and it sets out the following terms. We oppose your government setting a date for independence. We are vigorously opposed to our present government setting dates for independence because it is their decision, not ours, and we have no confidence in their ability to handle independence. This has been made quite clear to Mr. Whitlam. Most of the people have told him that they're ready for self-government, but not for independence.
These concerns were shared by newly elected Chief Minister Michael Somare.
We should not set a date for independence until we have achieved self-government and have had time to adjust to self-government. We realise the external pressures on Australia to set an early date for independence, and we realise the internal pressures for Australia to end its colonial role. And I'm sure, Mr. Prime Minister, your government does not want Australia to be a colonial power. Your government wants to see Papua New Guinea as a partner. And I think this is the feeling and this is the philosophy of a Labour government, that this country will be treated as a partner, not as a dependent country and not as another little colony, which was a practice for generations.
I cannot stress too often that the decision for independence is not only a decision about Papua New Guinea, it is about Australia and Australia's view of her own proper role in the world. Australia is no longer willing to be the ruler of a colony, and my government is determined to divest itself of that role in the lifetime of the present Australian Parliament.
Now suppose you mean like running this place, you mean master along this place in politics, you me too. Look out, all people belong in me, master belong economics, all man. Belong, look out him, development belong here, Bombay fitting people belong in me. Alright, you me talk about Philippines, only got 40 million. Only got a much, only got plenty long economics, only come up here a little. Long here you me got 2.5, 3 million. You got little man that's all Bamba only benefit. Can loan I me put him, belong look out him all big man. And big man, me talk about big man and me, you me. Me, now you probably remember. Now, all sample and arpla money come. Now, kiss him skin long on, all call him, all kiss him this la ticket, all qualify finish, all Papua New Guinea, and really long this plus ship, skin, citizen. All kind can know you me bringing me. Kusai now. You must look good inside long this plus citizenship section. I'm trying to tell you that some of the things which you don't know, you were trying down here. Sit down!
Radio in Papua New Guinea for broadcasting. We bring you now an address to the nation by the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Tayaba.
Now, Emi one brande mbira Papua New Guinea. Emi one brande Yumi by Pingi. Na Oropini mbira Yumi.
And now the address to the nation by the Honourable the Chief Minister, Mr. Michael Somare.
Today, a young nation takes possession of the prize which marks our people's determination and hard work. This country and its people now enter independence and sovereignty, and as from now, we will be counted among the family of nations. We have talked about this day, we have planned for it, worked for it, and looked forward to it. I know that every man, woman, and child of our new nation shares this moment of pride and happiness with one heart to join in celebrating our independence.
Papua New Guinea is now independent. The constitution of the independent state of Papua New Guinea, under which all power rests with the people, is now in effect. We have at this point in time broken with our colonial past, and we now stand as an independent nation in our own right.
But before Papua New Guinea got independence, The question lies, how humans reached N and then Australia by island hopping across the Indonesian archipelago from Asia at various stages, the first possibly 50,000 years ago. According to Papua New Guinea anthropology, archaeological evidence indicates that humans first arrived in Papua New Guinea around 42,000 to 45,000 years ago. They were descendants of migrants out of Africa in one of the early waves of human migration. Let us now dig into Papua New Guinea profile timeline. 50,000 years ago, first settlers are thought to arrive on New Guinea from Asia. 5000 BC, intensive agriculture develops in the New Guinea highlands, apparently independently of outside influence. 1100 to 900 BC, second wave of migrants from Southeast Asia. 1526, Portuguese sailor Jorge de Menezes is the first European visitor. He names one of the islands Ilhas das Papuas, or Land of Fuzzy-Haired People. 1546, Spanish explorer Inigo Ortiz de Redes names the other main island New Guinea because the islanders resemble the people of Guinea in Africa. 1800, substantial trade networks are active all over New Guinea, with the Kula Ring, a ceremonial exchange system, being particularly extensive. 1860, as American and European whalers frequent the Bismarck Archipelago, with the Duke of York Islands becoming an important anchorage. 1873, Methodist missionary George Brown opens a mission station on Duke of York Islands. From the Torres Strait, the London Missionary Society sends evangelists to the New Guinean south coast. 1873, Captain John Moresby charts the southeast part of New Guinea and the archipelago, naming Port Moresby after his father. 1884, Britain establishes a protectorate, British New Guinea being over southeast New Guinea, while Germany annexes the northern part of New Guinea. 1888, and then the armed native constabulary is established and village constables are appointed. 1888, 4th September, New Guinea was annexed. The protectorate, Khaled British New Guinea, was annexed. 1890, the Right Honourable Sir William McGregor, GCMG, CB, MPC, foresees S and others arrives in Papua and makes several exploratory expeditions around N. 1895, gold is found on the Mamber River. Mamber River is a river in Oro Province, Papua New Guinea. A gold rush leads to hostilities between locals and miners. 1902, and possession passed to the newly federated Commonwealth of Australia, and British New Guinea became the Australian territory of Papua, with Australian administration beginning in 1906. 1906, control of British New Guinea transferred to the newly independent Commonwealth of Australia and renamed Territory of Papua. 1914, Australian forces occupied German New Guinea during the First World War. 1921, after the war, the League of Nations grants Australia a mandate to run German New Guinea. This new mandated territory of New Guinea is governed totally separately from the territory of Papua. In 1920, a major gold find along the Bulolo River prompts another gold rush. Levian was a district officer in Buka and Marobe turned miner, and important in the process of making New Guinea significant in gold mining between World War I and II. He was also instrumental in New Guinea's commercial aviation history. He carefully plotted all reports of gold, and was the officer in charge in 1922 when Park struck rich alluvium in Karanga Creek, which flows into the upper Bulolo River. 1933, gold prospectors lead expeditions into the highlands. Here they find more than 1 million people living in fertile mountain valleys, their way of life apparently unchanged since the Stone Age. 1940, Japanese forces occupy parts of both territories, Papua at San and Nanta and New Guinea in Rabaul. 1942 to 1943, Allied victories in the battles of Milne Bay, along the Kokoda Trail and around Buna and Gona becomes the turning point of the Pacific War, forcing the Japanese to retreat. 1949, July, Australia establishes a joint administration over both territories called the Territory of Papua and New Guinea. 1951, November, a 28-member legislative council established by Australia. The first elections were held in 1951, with the first council sittings beginning in November 1951. In the first elections, there were only 664 people on the electoral roll in Papua, 537 on the New Guinea mainland and 496 in the New Guinea Islands. In 1961, Australian Governor-General Lord Dale arrived and opened the first House of Assembly in Port Moresby, accompanied by his daughter Honourable Catherine Sidney. General elections were held in the territory of Papua and New Guinea on March 18, 1961. Indigenous members were elected for the first time, although on an indirect basis. The territory's first political party, the United Progress Party, won 3 seats. May 1963 United Nations transfers control of West New Guinea to Indonesia. Today this region is called West Papua. 1964, June, a 64-member House of Assembly replaces Legislative Council and for the first time indigenous representatives are elected to the majority of seats in the legislature. 1971 July Territory of Papua and New Guinea was renamed Papua New Guinea. 1973 February Indonesia and PNG agreed on the position of Irian Jaya border. December 1973 Australia granted self-government to PNG. Michael Somare was elected Chief Minister in an interim coalition government, is sworn in as head of the governing Executive Council. In April of 1975 new currency, the Kina, replaces the Australian dollar. 16 September 1975 attains full independence from Australia. Sir Michael Somare becomes Prime Minister. Julius Chan, as Deputy Prime Minister. Sir Tay Abel, Opposition Leader, and Sir John Douglas, Guys GCMGKBE as First Governor-General. 1977 June to July First Parliamentary elections since independence. We have more of these kind of history movie coming up. Click like to this video. It has been worth creating this video, so give me a thumbs up. You can subscribe button to follow us.